Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Experience podcast, where we bring you conversations with entrepreneurs, CEOs, and innovative thinkers from around the world. I'm your host, Dr. Frances Arlene Ince. What happens in Vegas goes all over the world on Black Entrepreneur Experience, episode number 577. Today, we're joined by Lesa Frye, founder of Embrace Joyful Living Coaching and a 35-year real estate veteran. Lesa has built a career around entrepreneurship, resilience, and helping people create lives they truly enjoy. Let's talk about what she's learned along the way. Welcome, Lesa.
Thank you, Dr. Francis. I am excited to be here to speak to you and to speak to your audience.
I've given our audience, Lesa, such a brief bio. Why don't you fill in the gaps and share with our audience what you'd like them to know about you and your business?
Certainly. So I typically introduce myself as a wife, mom, grandma, and business owner for over 3 decades. I started my journey in corporate America, and I reached the ceiling in the position that I was in. And so I asked myself 3 questions. What do I enjoy doing? Where can I go where I control my income? And where do I have flexibility in my schedule? My girls at the time were ages 2 and 6, and I wanted to be more present for them. And so real estate was my answer. And what I did was I got my real estate license. I worked as what we call a dual career agent for 1.5 years, which meant I kept my full-time job, and I also worked real estate on a part-time basis. I did that for 1.5 years, and then I took the leap of faith into full-time entrepreneurship. And my very first year full-time, I sold 41 homes, was the top producing agent in the office of over 50 agents. And I had set that goal. I hit the goal. I was excited. I celebrated that. And then I took a step back and I looked and I realized I felt like I had missed an entire year of my family's life. And while I hit the goal and it was successful, that was not the type of success that I wanted. And so I realized I needed to change some things. I needed to set some boundaries. I needed to set some specific office hours, if you will. And so I did that. And I did that fairly quickly. And that is where my framework that I coach on came from, called the ALL framework. And it's all about the fact that we can create highly successful businesses and have lives that we enjoy without sacrificing ourselves or our loved ones. So I'm now a life and business coach for women in real estate who are feeling overworked and overwhelmed, where they just feel like they can't unplug. And I'm helping them to build sustainable, profitable businesses without sacrificing themselves.
And what is one valuable lesson you wish you knew before starting your business?
I think it's a mindset. When I came into the business, I came in with the thought that in order to be successful, I had to be available 24/7 and work constantly. So the lesson learned is no, start with your values and build your business from there. Build your business around your life, not the other way around.
And what would you say to the person, Lesa, that's listening and they're saying, you've mastered this, right? And I need to grind, I need to hustle, I need to work, and they're actually burning themselves out. What advice would you give them?
The advice I would give is to take a step back and to really ask yourself the question, what do I want? Okay. If you say a value of yours is family, then look at your calendar, because the calendar doesn't lie. Does your calendar have space for you and your family? And I understand, and we go through different stages in life, right? When we're younger, there is the feeling that I've got to make this income, I've got to provide this lifestyle, all of that. But I guess what comes to mind for me is think about if you have a family, do your children really want the things or do they want time with you? So that would be my advice is just to step back and ask yourself, what do you really want? And I'm not saying that hard work isn't involved because yes, hard work is involved, but it's deciding what the hours are that you're going to work because we know we're all at work for 8 hours, right? But are we really working? So it's about being efficient and productive with the time that you actually allocate for work. So that would be what I would tell someone.
And you talked about specifically as a business coach to those that are in real estate.
Yes.
Is that in a specific region or is that nationwide?
No, that's globally because what I'm teaching applies to any woman in real estate, wherever you're located. Realtors, mortgage loan reps, title reps, anyone that's in the real estate industry, there is a certain, I call it a hustle mentality in our industry. There's almost like, and I know when I was in the business, when I first started, you're taught that, hey, you've got to be available for your clients. Your clients work during the week, so you need to be available on Saturday and Sunday. And yes, they do work during the week, but those same clients have doctor's appointments. They don't go to the doctor on Saturday and Sunday. They take time off for the big things that are going on in their life. They can do the same thing with real estate because that's one of the largest financial investments you'll make. So you will make time to do the things that are most important to you.
I want you to have a monologue. I want you to name this person, living or not. So much. Who is that person and what are you saying to them?
I get emotional here. My person or my people are my parents. My father has passed on. It's been 25 years this year, actually. But my father always instilled in me to do what you love. Don't listen to what society tells you you should be doing. Go get the good government job or whatever. Do what you love. Follow your passion, and the money will follow. So that's who I look up to for sure. My mother is still with me. My mom is 91 years old. And what I got from my mother, at least I like to think I got from her, my mother is very poised, elegant, and graceful. And she can get her point across without profanity or negativity. And so that's what I've taken from my mother. So those are my people that I look up to.
And in honor of and our sincere sympathy for the passing of your father, say their names.
Oh, my father's name is Leo White, and my mother is Roberta White.
Absolutely. Talk about your top two influencers or mentors and what lessons do they teach you in life or business?
And mentors. In real estate, in the real estate realm, I would say my top mentor coach was Brian Buffini. And what Brian Buffini teaches is building relationships and building a referral-based business. When you do an exceptional job for your clients, they become your advocates. They become your quote unquote sales force. You don't constantly have to go out and chase new business because you've built relationships with people who will refer other people to you. So in the real estate realm, I would give Brian Buffini that credit. Who else? In the coaching industry, there are so many. Yeah, there's so many. But I guess I would give Stacey Bayman as one of my main mentors in the coaching industry. I've had some really great one-on-one coaches as well. Dr. Siobhan Perot has been a great influence for me as well. And just coaching was new to me. So learning to build that business and what steps are necessary and the skills. Stacy has definitely taught me a lot there as far as sales skills go in the mindset piece.
Talk about the coaching piece. And someone is looking to vet a business coach. What advice, Lesa, would you give them?
Decide what it is that you want from coaching. What are you specifically looking for in a coach? And then ask your coach questions around what it is that you're looking for. I think in coaching, it's important that there is a connection. Is this someone that you feel you can trust? Another piece of it is, do they have the receipts? Do they have lived experience? Or is this something that they've been reading in a coaching book? There's a big difference there. So that's definitely something I would say in vetting a coach. And then maybe even follow them for a while, follow their work. Most coaches are posting somewhere on social media, get on their email list, check out their website, and just see what they're doing. Follow them for a while. And I know I've had clients that have followed me for a couple of years before they made the decision. I've had someone who's listened to a podcast episode or two and decided to hire me. I offer my clients a complimentary consultation, and it's for them to see if I'm a good fit, but it's also for me to see if they're a good fit, because I only want to take on clients that I sincerely believe I can help them get the transformation that they're looking for.
Speaking of podcasts, you are a podcaster?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Share with our audience how they can listen and subscribe.
So I launched my podcast in September of 2025. It's called Balance for Women in Real Estate, and it's released weekly on Wednesday mornings. And I talk about burnout, time management, mindset, work-life balance, and there's some lead generation in there as well. But my coaching is from the perspective of coaching the whole person. It's not just business strategy. It's about building a business where there's time for you, the self-care piece, the aligning. So my framework is, like I said, the all framework, and that's aligning with your inner CEO. That piece is about defining what it is that you want, taking a look at your values, making sure that your business is in alignment with those values, and just who's the person that you want to be in your business. So that's the A. The L is learn to create balance and boundaries in your business. That's where we're looking at your schedule, the time management piece. What boundaries do you need to set and communicate? And then the second L is leverage with systems and support. Because the only way that you can keep yourself from working 24/7 in this business is to have great systems and to have support. And support doesn't always mean another person. It can be, but support can just be automating some things that you do all the time. So that's what I'm coaching people on.
And speaking of automation and support, let's talk about artificial intelligence, AI.
Uh-huh.
Tell me your
Yes.
take on it, and how are you using AI if you're using it?
I do use AI, and my take on AI is it is great to help you supplement what you're doing. And what I mean by that is make sure you're still using your own brain. Okay. Don't let AI think for you. You have an idea. Okay. Like I might have this broad idea, and I'll go to AI and say, here's what I want to do. Here's my thought process. Organize this for me. Tell me what the first step is I should take. That's the way that I utilize AI. I'm just really getting into it. I know you can create, which this scares me, frankly. You can create like an AI twin who can actually do all these steps for you. That kind of scares me a little bit, but I'm trying to stay open mind to it just to see how it can assist me. Maybe it can be a virtual assistant for me in some capacity, but I don't want to give it too much. I don't want to give it too much power. So I definitely use AI. I do. it's good for, like, I may write something and I'll plug it all into AI and say, tweak this or make this flow better. And then I'll see what it gives me and see if I like it, if it sounds like me. So that's how I'm utilizing it.
Right. And just for the audience, and so Lisa was talking about when she mentioned the AI twin is the AI agents. And so you can have multiple agents do different things for you to replicate what it is you want to do. So
Right.
absolutely. And Lisa, what do you think or believe your zone of genius is?
My zone of genius is, first of all, what I've been told from my clients is I'm the calm in their chaos. And so I think that's a strength of mine, is having clients take a step back and really ask the questions about what it is that they truly want. I'm great at helping people get things organized and systems, but really my zone of genius is helping you to build a business and a life that you love. So it's taking time for yourself, self-prioritization.
I like that. In business, there's a lot of risk.
Yes.
So let's talk about a risk that was a costly risk for you in business. What was that moment and what was your takeaway from that?
Risk. I feel like the only risk that comes to mind for me is going from that steady corporate paycheck to the inconsistent variable income and just learning to maneuver that. Because in real estate, we get these huge commission checks, right? And a lot of times we get that check and we're like, oh, I've got all this money. Let me buy this. Let me do that. Let me do this. Well, you've got to stop and think that maybe you don't have another settlement next month. So that money has to last. So it's the allocation of the money. So I think the risk was in going from the steady to the variable income.
And I want you to speak on that a little bit more as a business coach and specifically in real estate and you coming corporate America and having that consistent revenue. And I like when you said that you were hybrid, where you stayed and kept your 9 to 5, but you also worked in real estate.
Yeah.
Talk about how you were able to take that leap of faith and jump from that consistent revenue to the inconsistent revenue, which is, or the inconsistent paycheck, which not only in real estate, but in entrepreneurship, having those ebb and flows.
Yeah. And I guess it's not, I guess, for me, what it was building up my savings so that I knew I had the cushion there. And it wasn't that I necessarily had to have my whole income from my corporate job. Okay. Because there's other expenses that go in that you don't necessarily need in entrepreneurship. But it was building my confidence up in what I was doing as an entrepreneur and actually getting those closings under my belt and then saving that money so that I had a certain number of months allocated. And it wasn't like I needed to save a year's income or even 6 months for that matter. It was 90 days because I've already started building my book of business. I know how to create income. I know how to generate the sales now. And so it was just getting myself to that place where I had the confidence and the belief in myself that I could make this successful. Didn't hurt that I have my very supportive husband as well, who has the regular 9 to 5 job. So that definitely helped me.
Advice you wish you had followed.
Advice I wish I had followed. Advice I wish I had followed. I'm sure there's something that it's just not coming to mind at this time. But you're stumping me there, Dr. Francis. I can't think of advice that I wish I had followed, or aside from being true to myself. Okay, so maybe that's it. Being true to myself and trusting my inner knowing. A lot of times I'm listening to this person because that worked for them and that person because it worked for them. And what I've always been told is trust your inner knowing. Trust your own voice, because we all have answers, the answers inside of us. We just need to take the time to really listen. And I'm a spiritual person. The other part of that is to trust and surrender to my maker. And when I have questions, when I have things that I'm not clear on, to go to God. God is my CEO partner in my business. So that would be the advice.
Talk to a younger you. What advice would you give to a younger Lesa?
Younger Lesa, I would say be who you are. Don't worry about fitting in. Do not shrink yourself to make other people feel better about themselves. That's definitely what I would say to younger me.
Lesa, if you lost everything and you had to rebuild in 30 days, in what industry and why?
Everything. We're talking business, right? Because to me, as long as I have my family, I'm good.
Okay.
So if I had to rebuild in any industry, I probably would rebuild in, that's a toss-up. Would I rebuild in real estate or would I rebuild in coaching? Yeah, it's a toss-up there.
Okay.
It's a toss-up there.
And give me your
Because
answer
I have
to
loved
both. Why, if you had to choose real estate, why? And if you had to choose the coaching, why?
So if I had to choose real estate, it's because I've been doing it for 35 years. So I know it like the back of my hand. I know that I can tap back into my network and build it, like no problem. Be coaching is because it's my passion. It's what I'm called to do. So I know that I can say, and some of the same principles from real estate apply to coaching. Like I'm building and nurturing relationships in coaching as well. So that's why I would choose either one.
I like that advice that your mentor gave around building relationships. Talk about that even more specifically. Someone saying, I have friends, I have relationships, but it's an art to building relationships. Talk about that.
And again, it comes back to being genuine and being authentically who you are, right? When I meet, and in real estate, I used to tell my clients, when you decide on me as your realtor, I'm your realtor for life. And I meant that. So yes, we got to know each other in the process of them buying their home or selling their home. But after they went to the closings table, like we're still staying in touch. I've spent so much time with you. I've learned about you. I've learned about your family, or at least this is what I do. Learn about them, learn the things that they enjoy. So it's building a friendship like you would normally. And no, all of my clients aren't like besties, but I still stay in touch. I'm still nurturing that relationship. I'm still reaching out via phone call or a text to check in and see how they're doing. It's not always about business. It's really about how are you doing as a person? Of course, I'm asking, is your home still meeting your needs, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just continuing that relationship. Same thing in coaching. I have past coaching clients. I still talk to them. I'm still checking in to see, hey, how are you doing? What's going on in life? Even asking if there's anything I can support you with to let me know. Entrepreneurship is about relationships. We can't get anywhere if we're not giving excellent customer service and really showing that we care about our clientele. So to me, relationships are everything.
What's a leadership mistake that humbled you, and how did it change your approach?
A leadership mistake. I think, and now I'm thinking back to when I hired assistant, I think maybe I was too flexible. Some people, you can't be too flexible with some people. And what I mean by that is I would allow them to have the flexible hours. But then what I found was sometimes they weren't coming in at all. Sometimes they weren't doing what they're supposed to be. So the leadership mistake is not having enough structure for people that I'm leading, I would say, and setting those expectations up front.
What is a boundary you've had to set with others or yourself to protect your energy?
Boundaries. And I keep going back to real estate because now in coaching, like everything, I've got it. If I had 35 years of not having, I did have boundaries, but 35 years of working in that industry. So one boundary for sure is my cutoff time for work. And so I had a voicemail on my phone that said, if you are calling after 7 p.m., I will return your call on the next business day. Okay. It didn't mean that, and for me, my business days were actually Monday through Saturday. So if you called me on Saturday after 7 p.m., or there were different times on Saturday as well, but you knew that you weren't going to hear from me until Monday. So that was definitely a boundary that I set for myself.
Lesa, what problem exists in the world today that you'd like to solve?
I love this. Lack of love. Lack of love. I'm just going to put it out there because I was getting ready to try to sugarcoat it, but I would love to solve the problem of racism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What is something that we as consumers, we don't know about the coaching industry that we should know?
What as consumers don't know about coaching? You know what? I think a lot of people think they confuse coaching and consulting. Okay. When you hire a consultant, they're going to give you all the answers. They're going to tell you what to do. Okay. In coaching, we are asking you what it is that you want to do. And then we're going to help you achieve your goals based on what you tell us you want. The coach is not there to give you all the answers. Yes, we can give you some advice based on our lived experience, but really it's helping you to pull the answers out of yourself. So that's what coaching is about. It's about helping you discover the knowledge that you already have within yourself and helping you to move forward in life based on the goals that you think you want to achieve.
What is the best decision you've made as a leader?
Best decision I've made as a leader. Create my own pair. So decide what it is that I want and to go forward with that. And again, it's that advice that we talked about a long time ago, trusting your inner knowing, going with your gut. I would say that's the best decision in leadership.
Let's talk about legacy. When it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as someone who made a difference in someone's life. I want to be remembered as, I do like being the calm in other people's chaos. So, and just as a loving, nurturing person who cares. That's how I want to be remembered.
Let's talk about business coaching specifically.
Mm-hmm.
What was that aha moment when you knew that you were going to be successful?
What was the aha moment? So I didn't share how I got into the coaching industry in the first place. Like I said, I was in real estate for 35 years. And I would say probably 20, 25 years into it, I did start getting the nudge like there's something else that I should be doing or am called to be doing, but I wasn't sure what that was. And I lost my dad-in-law in 2014. And at that time, I kind of took a step back and I said, life's too short not to be doing work that you absolutely love and that you feel called to do. And so I literally was praying for clarity. in the middle of the night and I got the God whisper to become a coach. And so that's how my journey started. So what was your original question there, though? I just feel like I went back and then.
You answered it. We were just talking about specifically.
Oh, how I knew I was going to be a
Yeah,
success
that
in
aha
coaching.
moment that you knew
Yeah.
that you were going to be successful as a business coach versus the real estate.
Yeah. And if I'm being honest, there are days where I'm still like, okay, do I know that I'm going to be successful here? But I know ultimately that I'm going to create the success that I want because God has called me to do this work. So that's how I know.
And Lesa, what do you need right now that you don't have to move the needle forward?
What do I need right now? I need more women to say yes to coaching. That's what I need to move the needle forward. I just want to impact more women. I want more women to prioritize themselves, to start putting themselves first, to know that they can enjoy the end life, highly successful business, and a life that you love. So that's what I need to move the needle forward, to keep moving the needle forward.
And if they're interested in connecting, what is the best way for them to connect?
My website is the first place. It's got all the information, and that's lesafrye.com. That's LESAFRYE. And then tune into my podcast, Balance for Women in Real Estate. And otherwise, you'll find me on LinkedIn under my name, Lesa Frye.
Let's take a snapshot of the last 30 days. What was your biggest win?
The last 30 days. It's summertime, and I've just been enjoying so much time with my family, with my girls, with my hubby, with my grands. So that's my biggest win. If we're talking business, what's my biggest win? Oh, a huge win for me in business is my podcast is ranked in the top 3% globally. And last month, I had the highest number of downloads that I've ever had. That's the big business win. Thank you.
How did you celebrate those wins?
That's something I need to get a little better at. But I don't know that I did anything specific in celebrating it. It was just an acknowledgement to myself. And I was, didn't do anything specific.
And tell us your backstory. What made you start the podcast?
Podcast, again, it goes back to my spirituality. My podcast was on my vision board for 2 years. And last year, God was like, okay, it's time. And so the funny thing is, I usually don't pay any attention to Facebook ads whatsoever. And Stephanie Gass kept popping up in my Facebook feed. And she had this 5-day boot camp to start building a podcast. So I joined her 5-day boot camp, and then she had a program that actually took you from start to finish. Like when I say I knew nothing about starting a podcast, I mean nothing. Equipment, nothing. But in taking that, I got everything that I needed and launched it. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I asked myself what took me so long to get it started. But everything happens for a reason and in its own time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lesa, if you conducted this interview, what is the one question you would have asked yourself? And I want you to ask the question and answer it.
I think the question I would have asked is, what advice would I give to someone who maybe is looking to start a business in entrepreneurship, whether it's real estate, whether it's something else? And how would I answer that question? I would say there's 3 things. Number 1 is to define success for yourself. What does success mean to you? Not what does it mean to your family, your friends, to society, but what does success mean to you? So that's the first piece of advice. The second piece of advice is invest in your skill set and your mindset equally. Okay. So invest in your mindset as much as you invest in your skill set. Most people will invest in developing the skills, but they forget about the mindset piece. The skills will get you in the room. The mindset is going to determine how you show up and progress in that room. So invest in both equally. And then the third piece of advice, yes, is don't wait until you're fearless. Don't wait until you're ready. Take messy action. Confidence doesn't come confidence doesn't come before taking the action. Confidence comes as a result of you taking the action and learning from the mistakes that you may make along the way. So those would be my 3 pieces of advice.
What is the biggest challenge of being an entrepreneur?
I think our biggest challenge actually is our mindset. It's the thoughts that we allow into our brains. A lot of us can be hard on ourselves, and we focus on what's not working instead of being intentional and about the thoughts that you're thinking. Like believing clients are coming, believing that I make X amount every month, and giving your brain evidence of why it's true. So I think that's the biggest thing in entrepreneur is the thoughts that we're thinking about ourselves and our business.
Lesa, what is the biggest takeaway that you want our audience to leave with from our conversation?
The biggest takeaway is, again, about defining success for yourself. And also, entrepreneurship can be lonely. Put yourself in rooms with like-minded people who will support you and uplift you and remind you of who and whose you are when you forget. And also, get the help and support of a coach. They'll be your cheerleader, and they also can see the blind spots that maybe you're not seeing in the business.
And what is your top priority for next week?
Vacation with my grandkids and my hubby. That's my top priority next week.
Love it. Talk about mental wellness and entrepreneurship.
So again, that goes back to the mindset piece. And I have a daily morning mindset routine. And that's what prepares me for my day. And so I start with my Bible study. I go into gratitude journaling. I do some of what I call intentional thought creation. And of course, I move my body. So all of that prepares me to be as productive as possible in my workday.
We've come to the part of our interview. It's called the Rapid Round of Fun. And I'm going to give you a series of questions, and I'd like you to give me very quick answers.
All right. First thing that comes to mind.
You desire not to answer, feel free to say pass.
Okay. I'm ready. Let's go.
You relax doing what?
Sitting by the water and listening to music.
Speaking of music, your favorite singer or rapper?
Ooh, that's so hard. Patti LaBelle, Luther Vandross.
Your favorite dance song?
Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It.
What food you eat every week, no matter what?
Chicken.
Your favorite comfort food?
Pizza. Ice cream. No, ice cream is my favorite comfort food.
And what ice cream, what flavor?
Chocolate.
Work out or hit the couch?
It depends on the day.
Lesa Frye, thank you so much for joining us on Black Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. Before we let you go, share with our audience the best way for them to connect with you, to do business with you. Feel free to leave all your social media handles, and also please share again where they can listen to your podcast.
Certainly. So the best place to find me is on my website, lesafrye.com, LESAFRYE.com. My podcast is called Balance for Women in Real Estate. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, iHeart. It's everywhere that you listen to your podcast. Let's see. Facebook, under my name, Lesa Frye. I also have a Facebook group for women in real estate or women in business. It's called The Balanced Businesswoman. LinkedIn, under my name, Lesa Frye. And I'm not on Instagram much, but at Lesa Frye Coaching for Instagram.
Thank you,
So
Lesa.
those are all my places.
Thank you, Lesa. That's a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Black Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. If you enjoy this episode, please leave us a review. Share it with your friends and help others discover the show. For more episodes and show notes, visit www.beepodcast.com. Join us next Wednesday for another episode. And remember, green is the new black. So keep your bank account and your business in the black.